All right, picture this for a second. You're sitting there, you turn on the TV, and instead of seeing one superstar, you see four of the most dangerous players to ever lace up a pair of boots. Messi, Ronaldo, Mbappe, and Haaland, all on the same pitch, same jersey, same team. Your brain almost can't process it. Like, it feels like some video game dream mode come to life, and that's the thing, man. When you start thinking about how much these guys have shaped football individually, and then you mash them together. It's not just a lineup, it's a thought experiment in greatness. It's the kind of scenario that makes you lean forward in your chair because you want to know, would it work? Would the egos clash? Would defenses even stand a chance? Or would we literally be watching the most unstoppable force the game has ever seen? And that's why today we're diving deep into this crazy idea, breaking down the legacy, the rise, the tactics, the chemistry, the impact, because once you start imagining this dream of seven, you can't stop. It grabs you, it makes you wonder if football itself could even handle that much firepower in one place. You know what blows my mind, man? It's the fact that we've been alive at the exact same time as Messi and Ronaldo. Like, do you realize how insane that is? Because usually in sports, you get one dominant figure who just reshapes everything, like a Jordan, a Federer, a Tyson, but in football, we got two of them overlapping for almost 2 decades, pushing each other to levels that don't even seem real. And the thing is, they're not even the same kind of play, which makes it even crazier because Messi is like this alien genius. The dude doesn't even look like he should be on the field half the time. He's not tall. He's not ripped like a Greek god, but the ball just sticks to him like it's magnetized, and he moves through defenders like he's seeing the game in slow motion while everyone else is in fast forward. It's like art. It's poetry. And then on the other side, you've got Ronaldo, who looks like he was carved out of marble and programmed by some futuristic AI to be the ultimate goal-scoring machine. Every jump, every sprint, every strike is mechanical perfection backed by this almost psychotic work ethic. Like the guy decided he wasn't just going to be good, he was going to be inevitable. And when you put those two stories side by side, it's almost like a philosophical question. Are we witnessing natural-born genius or the product of absolute relentless discipline? And then the wild part is they're both so successful that you can't even pick one without starting a war, because Messi lovers will die on the hill of saying you can't replicate magic like that. And Ronaldo fans will fight you saying greatness isn't given, it's built in sweat and iron. Year after year, we watch them break each other's records, trade Ballon d'Ors, swap highlights that felt like video game cutscenes. And the rest of the football world just played catch-up while these two monsters existed at the same time. And think about the pressure they created for each other. Like if Ronaldo dropped a hat trick, you knew Messi was about to answer with a masterclass, and that back and forth made the last 15 years of football feel like a heavyweight fight stretched out over a decade and a half. So when you step back and really think about it, this wasn't just a rivalry. This was two different philosophies of human potential colliding every weekend. One guy proving that genius can be born and nurtured, the other proving that greatness can be built with obsession. We all got to sit back, watch it unfold, argue about it, and realize we were witnessing a once-in-human history phenomenon. Man, the rise of Mbappe and Haaland is one of those things where you just sit back and go, holy shit, we're watching the torch get passed in real time. Like for years, it's been Messi and Ronaldo dominating the whole planet, setting these numbers that felt untouchable. And now you've got these two young lions coming in, not just showing potential, but actually delivering at the highest level like it's nothing. And the thing with Mbappe is he's this freak of nature with speed that doesn't even make sense. Like when he takes off, it looks like everyone else is running in mud. And he's not just quick, he's got that killer instinct, that swagger where he knows he's the baddest guy on the field. Scoring in World Cup finals as a teenager, that's not normal, that's like chosen one energy. And then you've got Haaland, who's built like some kind of cyborg Viking, this massive frame, but he moves like a sprinter and his finishing is so ruthless, it's almost scary. Like if the ball touches his left foot in the box, you might as well just put it on the scoreboard, because it's over. And what's wild is they're both so young, but already carrying themselves like superstars, breaking records that stood for decades. And you can feel the shit. You can feel that they're not just here to participate. They're here to dominate the next decade the way Messi and Ronaldo did. And it's fascinating because stylistically, they're so different. Mbappe is flair, pace, that electric vibe that makes defenders terrified before the ball even reaches him, while Haaland is raw destruction, pure efficiency, no wasted movement. Just bang, 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 goal after goal after goal. And it's almost like we're watching two new archetypes of football evolve in front of it. And I think about the psychology too, like these kids grew up watching Messi and Ronaldo. They were literally shaped by the era of GOATs. So instead of being intimidated, they seem inspired. Like they looked at those numbers and thought, yeah, I can get there, maybe even go further, which is insane because most people would crumble under that shadow, but they're using it as fuel. And that's why people are already debating who's going to own the throne for the next decade, who's going to stack the most Champions Leagues, the most Ballon, who's going to be the face of football when the old guard finally steps aside. And the truth is, the rise of these two isn't just about goals and stats, it's about a generational shift. The feeling that we're at the start of another epic rivalry, and we're lucky enough to watch the origin story happen live. All right, so when you start talking about the possibilities of a Dream 11 with Messi, Ronaldo, Mbappe, and Haaland, all on the same sheet, it's like trying to imagine if someone hacked football and built a cheat code line. Because think about it, you've got Messi, who's basically the ultimate playmaker, a guy who sees passing angles, like he's got some alien radar in his brain, and he doesn't just create. He dictates the rhythm. He pulls defenders out of shape with one little fit. So if you slot him in behind the attack, that's your conductor, the guy running the orchestra. And then you put Ronaldo drifting in from the left or floating centrally, and suddenly you've got this assassin who thrives on service, who can score headers, volleys, free kicks, tap-ins. He's the guy who turns half chances into goals. And then you add Mbappe on the wing. Holy shit, now defenses are cooked, because this kid is sprinting past fullbacks like they're traffic cones, pulling center backs wide and creating chaos. And if they dare double up on Messi, or Ronaldo gets that extra yard of space, and then boom, you throw Haaland right down the middle, the Viking hammer, this monster who just needs one touch inside the box to destroy everything. And suddenly it's not even fair, because how do you defend against that? Because step high and risk Mbappe torching you in behind. Do you sit deep and let Messi run the game 30 yards out? Do you mark Ronaldo tight and risk Haaland bullying your center back like it's a backyard fight? There's literally no tactical answer, and the midfield behind them would almost feel like spectators. They'd just recycle the ball and watch the chaos unfold. And defensively, sure, you'd worry about balance, but with that much firepower, you could concede 2 and still win 6-2 like it's a basketball game. And then there's chemistry, because everyone talks about egos, about how big personalities might clash. But man, if these four clicked, if they bought into the idea of playing together, it would be like a global event every time they touched the field. You'd have kids in every corner of the world staying up at 3 just to watch highlights live. And tactically, it would redefine the sport, because coaches would have to invent new systems just to survive. So the Dream 11 isn't just fantasy, it's like imagining the sport folding in on itself, becoming something so unstoppable that the only question left would be not whether they win, but how many goals they score before they get bored. The wildest part about putting Messi, Ronaldo, Mbappe, and Haaland together isn't even the talent, it's the chemistry versus ego thing. Because on paper it sounds like heaven, but in reality you're talking about 4 alpha predators in one cage. And that can go either way. Like, it could become the most beautiful collaboration in sports history, or it could implode like a rock band that breaks up mid-tour. And the thing, Messi and Ronaldo already lived their careers as the center of gravity, the sun around which everything else revolves. So asking them to share space is already like trying to get 2 kings to sit on one throne. And then you add Mbappe, who's got this fearless, cocky energy, like he already knows he's the heir, the next big thing, and he doesn't want to wait his turn, he wants the crown now. And then Haaland, who might look quieter personality-wise, but his game screams dominance. He's not out there to play second fiddle, he's out there to devour defenses and stack numbers, so the ego cocktail is insane. And the question becomes whether these guys can sacrifice a little shine for the bigger picture, because chemistry in football isn't just passing the ball, it's trust, it's humility, it's knowing that sometimes you don't take the shot because your teammate's in a better spot. And when you've spent your whole career being the guy, can you flip that switch? Can Ronaldo be the decoy so Mbappe can fly down the wing? Can Messi pass up a shot so Haaland can fit? Can Mbappe resist the urge to dribble 3 guys just to prove a point? And if they can, then we're talking about something scary, like harmony so good it makes the whole world stop. But if they can't, then suddenly the team fractures, because egos are like cracks in the foundation that start small but they break everything over time. And you see this in sports all the time. Great teams on paper that never lived up to it because nobody wanted to bend. But here's the flip side, sometimes when the talent is so overwhelming, the respect levels are so high, it actually forces guys to work together. Like, you don't argue with Messi because you know he's a genius. You don't complain when Ronaldo demands the ball because you know he delivers. And maybe that mutual recognition creates an unspoken pact. Like, all right, we're all gods, let's just dominate together. And if that happened, chemistry would crush ego, and you'd get the deadliest, most unstoppable force football has ever seen.
The impact on football if Messi, Ronaldo, and Haaland ever actually lined up in the same Dream 11 would be so seismic that it wouldn't just change the sport, it would change the culture around it. Because think about it, football has always had its legends, its dynasties, but never in history would you have four players of that magnitude from two generations, wearing the same shirt, and the ripple effects would be insane. Like stadiums would sell out not just for the big games but for warm-ups. Kids would be glued to screens worldwide. Sponsors would be throwing billions because every second of footage would be pure gold. And even tactically it would force the whole sport to evolve, because coaches everywhere would need to invent new systems just to survive against that kind of firepower. And it's not just about winning matches, it's about redefining what dominance looks like. Because right now people talk about invincible seasons, treble wins, dynasties, but with those four together the conversation would be about how much they won by, how many records they shattered in 1 year. Like, did they average 4 goals a game? Did they sweep every trophy without breaking a sweat? And then you look at the global influence. Suddenly every kid in every park across the planet would be imitating their link-ups, replaying highlights like scripture. Because when the best of the past and the best of the future collide, it creates something mythological, like a living cheat code. And it would also reshape the debate of what greatness even means. Because for decades people argued Messi versus Ronaldo, genius versus machine. And then the new guys show up, Mbappe with his raw speed and swag, Haaland with his ice-cold finishing, and you smash them all together. Suddenly you're not arguing anymore, you're witnessing something that feels unfair, like evolution jumped a step. And it would mess with history too, because how do you even compare future Ballon d'Or winners when they spent their peak sharing a pitch with literal gods? And on the flip side, it might inspire the rest of the sport to raise its level, because competition does that. Dominance forces the world to adapt, and maybe you'd see defenders train harder, tactics get sharper, goalkeepers evolve, just to deal with this monstrosity. So the impact wouldn't just be short-term entertainment, it would be a paradigm shift. The kind of thing people decades later would look back on and say, yes, that was the golden era, the moment football became bigger than itself. So when you wrap this whole thing up, man, it's kind of wild to realize what we've been talking about isn't just football, it's about human potential. It's about seeing the absolute peak of what people can do when talent, discipline, and obsession collide. Because Messi and Ronaldo showed us what a rivalry for the ages looks like. Mbappe and Haaland are showing us what the future of the sport feels like. The thought of them all being together in one Dream 11 is like staring into some alternate reality where the rules don't even apply anymore. And yeah, maybe it never happens. Maybe it stays in the realm of fantasy, but just imagining it fires up that part of your brain that loves greatness, that loves the idea of pushing limits. And that's why we all get hooked on this game in the first place, because it makes us dream bigger. It makes us believe that impossible things can actually happen right in front of us. So whether it's Messi dropping another masterclass, Ronaldo still defying age, or the new kids writing their chapters, what we're really witnessing is history, and we're lucky to be alive for it. So good luck to all of you chasing your own dreams, because if these guys teach us anything, it's that greatness is out there if you're willing to bleed for it. And thank you for hanging out, for thinking about this crazy what if with me. It's been a ride, and I appreciate you guys being here.